I'm Akash. Our agenda will be, guys, today we're going to talk about CSS role, what is CSS, browser support for the transition, CSS transition, styling property of CSS, CSS transition for a speed accuracy, transition transform property of CSS transitions, and the hands-on. Okay, role on web development. Guys, the role on web development is, or I'll say CSS. So take example. Now suppose, guys, I'm a car manufacturer. How the car is made? First of all, we have a body of the car, correct? Now this body of a car does not look good because obviously not look good because you don't have any color, shape, nothing like that. Now how exactly you can make it look better? How exactly we can make it look better? So we can make it look better in terms of by designing it, adding the color, adding the picture, and all those things can make this thing better as per our look. Now how we can do that? By adding the color to that. Similarly, guys, every website that is made up of HTML, but to make that website look good, you have to jump into the CSS. With the help of CSS, you can make this website look good to us. So CSS is something that make the HTML look like a proper page, and combining HTML and CSS together make it a full-fledged working page. And the best thing, it's a quick loading and a less wait time, multiple browser compatibility, almost every browser support the CSS, ability to position element anywhere, and print friendly web page. It's very easy to do the writing on the web page also. On the other side, if I talk about your customization, very easy, search engine friendly, consistency, and profitability. So the best part is that it's very easy to write and support everywhere. Now guys, even before showing you the transition property of the I'll say CSS, browser support all the browser, your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Opera, every browser it support. Now even before jumping to the transition, I like to show you first of all how exactly our CSS work. So I will actually make one folder here, say any name I can give, I'll say my CSS. Okay. Now I will go to the say my text editor, that's a Visual Studio Code, and over this particular text editor, I'll see one I'll see one thing. I'll open this, and there I'll go to the area, okay, and desktop, and pick my CSS. There, if I go and I'll make one file called first.html and first.css. Now I'll start writing the HTML, guys. First of all, start with HTML tag, head tag. In the head tag, we'll link this CSS. It's href first.css and rel call style sheet and type equal to text/css. This is how you can link your CSS to the HTML page. And now in the body, suppose, guys, I write one h1 tag. To each tag, either give ID or class. Okay. If you give ID, you target by hash. As example, I give ID, say first, and write here Edureka. Okay. Now when you run this, go in the folder where you kept this file, HTML file. CSS will not run, and just open that in the browser. When you open that browser, you see like this. I want to change the color and bring in a center. So we have given one ID to this called first, right? Go to CSS, write hash first. If the ID, write hash, and first of all bring in center. It's a text align center, and actually the color of that to blue. Now see, guys, your Edureka heading coming in a blue color, you see, and that's coming in a center. So without CSS, it's not looking good. As soon as we add a CSS, it start looking better to us, guys. So if you go, see, this is what CSS make the page actually look good to us. As example, under that we put one HR tag like this, a horizontal line. Now I want some divs here with a proper shape and color. If I simply go and write div whose ID, or say ID as div1, and similarly suppose I have here three divs, div1, div2, div3. You go back to page, you'll see nothing on the page because by default div have no property. It's not visible to us on the page. So how will make it visible? Right here, hash div1. We'll give some height to that. I'll say height as 200 pixel, width as say 200 pixel, say width should be a percentage. I'll say 30%, and then I'll give the background color, say sky blue. Now run. You see first div. Similarly, I'll make two more divs and give the color here as light coral and light kind of a purple color, a slate gray. Let's see. See guys, we see the divs, but it's a default property of the div that they come one under the other. They will come one under the other. Now tell me one thing, anyone know how I can bring them one beside the other? I want this divs here. I'll tell you. The two property call guys, one is called float, or we can do one thing, we can give a same class. I'll say here div row, or say first row. Okay. And to the div1, div2, div3 na, I'll just give the color because it's easy. Then you have to target multiple elements with same property, so you can keep a class and the ID. So I'll do one thing, with the ID I'll just give the color, and with that class I'll give all other property. So one thing called guys display inline block. Now what it will do, let's just see. So to each of them one ID is given, give one class also. Class for a common property. So all three of them get a common property. Rather than writing again and again, I just write one time and will apply to everyone. Now they all come one beside the other. By what? The property name is called display inline block. With this property guys, my div coming in the one beside the other. Now there's one problem with this. Suppose display inline block have one problem. I have some dummy text, so I'll pick some dummy text guys. Suppose I pick this text, okay, and I paste this text in the each div like this way. Very important topic which I'm covering, is very important for interview perspective or your web development perspective also. Suppose each div have the same p tag, till the point it have the same text, it's absolutely fine. But suppose any of the div have one extra content also, what happened? Everything got bad. This is not the problem with the div, this is a problem with a property called display inline block. If the content is not same, it will not make it perfect. So what should we do? Now there one more way. If I have more content, how to handle that? Now I'll do one thing. I'll put that in a second row, but I'll make a first row here. I'll make a one more row here. We'll name it as second row, and this as the first. Now second row also will give a same property, but ID will change. ID will say div 4, div 5, and div 6. Go back to CSS. To second row will give a same property, and to 4, 5, 6 we'll add more colors. 4, 5, 6. We call this as a hot pink, this as the olive, this as the slate blue. Okay. Now see guys, I got one more row, correct? Here na text color also I'll change a first block. Color will made to white. See guys, it's coming. Now if we have a more content in one of the div, if in any div, if we have one more content, see it's happening because of the display inline block. Now how we can handle that? Rather than using a display inline block, use a property called float left. Now with this, nothing will be impacted, you see. But there's one problem. You notice one thing. Suppose I have some p tag here. Now, if I have in a second row, start here under this chart diagram. If you have some p tag with a float left, the problem is that next thing will also come in left hand side, guys. If it have a space, next thing will also come in left hand side. That is a problem with your block. The problem with the block, guys. Now, next thing is, how should I fix it? To fix it, keep float left, but just make one master div. I'll say div class, or in a div, just give a style called display inline block. Okay, and all the content that you have, just wrap them in this div. All the next row content that you have, just wrap them in one main div, like this. Now see, if you go back, everything will be perfect, guys. Everything will be perfect. Perfect in terms of, here you have float left. Now any number of content does not impact, and the bottom row I use a display line block. So if you want to do a display line block and the above is float left, then make a one master div like this way, and make display inline block, and rest all the content. So this one, this is not a master div. Yeah, this is a master div. So all the content that you have, just move that content like this way. That's very clearly visible. It's a part of this div. In this div, you're going to float a display name block, still it working. And above, I'm using the float left, guys. And it is working for me. So if the content is not same, try to use the float left. Although we can still fix it by, but we have to some more properties. See, CSS is a static language. The thing called right and wrong, everything is right, everything is wrong. That depends upon the way you write. Now that content is not visible to you, correct? So do simple one thing. Just write one property called overflow hidden. Now it's not visible. Now I'll say overflow scroll. See, let's refresh. See, I can see more content. This is what exactly your structure should look like. This is, guys, how it just actually you should adjust your content on the page. Anyone, any doubt not clear, just ask me. Paste your question, I'll try to answer that. If anyone paste your question, guys, I cannot unmute anyone, but yes, you can paste a question in chat, I can answer that. You need a border, just go and add a property called border. Size of border, I'll say 2 pixel. I'll say solid, and I say suppose gray. Refresh it, you see the border. So you can do one thing, reduce the size it to 25%. Okay, give a margin from left hand side, margin from left, say 1%. Now you see proper border. This is a border. You want to increase the size of border, make a border as 4 pixel. you get a border. Got it? You want to get 3D effect? Just write box shadow. I'll say 10 pixel, 10 pixel and 10 pixel, and I'll say red. Now see, do you see a kind of a 3D effect is coming and the shadow is also coming. We can increase the margin between them. We can increase the margin to 2%. See, you got the 3D effect also. So this is your, and you want to give some other colors, say black, or you can do one thing, make a border of a black, and yeah, this look better. See guys, or increase the margin a little more, say here 4%. You will see the more better shape. See, this looks like a 3D effect, something coming out of the page. Now guys, I'll show you a few more things like your transition and the transform properties. So what is a transition? Basically, transition is more or less like, first of all, we'll say transform. Transform will be more or less like on a same place you're doing something with the shape. Okay, shape size, doing something with a shape or size. In the I'll say transform. First of all, let me show you transform, and then I'll come to the transition also. So suppose this is a tile. Okay, now I want it to move little on the angle, so I'll say transform. The one thing called scale. I want when somebody bring a mouse over that, it should become little more bigger, like it highlighted that. How it works? See, I say dot first row colon hover. When you bring a mouse over that, now it will scale. So we'll say scale 1.1%. What does that mean? See, now when I bring a mouse over that, do you see guys, it gives the effect. If I make it 1.5, means 1.5 of original size. Now see, it's very big, looking bad. Even you can make it twice of its size also. You must have seen that in the actual website, but 1.1 is the best option you can do. It will not look bad and look good to display on the screen. See, now the other properties are there in transform. One thing called rotate. Let's rotate 40 degree. Now what happened? When somebody bring a mouse over there, see, it rotate 40 degree. You see, the one thing called skew. Skew y, I'll say 30 degree, and skew x, skew y both work. See, skew y, it will be like this, 30 degree. And if it's a skew x, it is skew x, skew x and skew y. So the best one, the transform property that you should go is guys scale. Scale is the best one. It look good also, but rotate and your skew also. One thing called metrics that you will learn in our classes. When you come now, we'll teach you metrics also. See, this is what it is, and that's an important thing because that makes things look better on our page. This is called transition. So transform. Transition means, as example, this Edureka logo. Okay, initially the margin from left is suppose 5%. Okay, now I want when the page load slowly, it should come at this place. That's called transition. How it works? So I'll say hash first. What do you want to change? You want to change the margin left. Now we'll say margin left here. Now here we'll say make margin left to 45% in how much time? I'll say transition margin left in 5 seconds. Now see what happens when you refresh the page. In the 5 seconds, it will move here. You see, in the 5 seconds, this logo move here, guys. That's called your, and you want to move like this. Suppose as example, I'll show you. We will take one day, we'll comment out this piece of a code, second line. We understand how it works, so I don't need it now, so I'll just comment it out. Okay, not big a problem for us, so we'll just comment. This code will not run anymore, but it will be in a page only. Now here, now I'll make one div whose id is ball. Now what I'll do is, this ball I will take and give the CSS to that hash ball. First of all, I give a height, give a same height width to that to make it a ball width. I give same height, same width. Then I'll say border radius. If I the 10 pixels, suppose 10% will say, okay, and the background color will give, we'll say T. Now if you see, and we'll make in a proper positioning of this. Because of float left, it's coming there. So we'll say we want the, okay, let's just comment all the code for us, guys, for a while. Okay. Because this function, I'll show you how it works. You see this, right? Now, if I make it a 20% border radius, 20%, now it'll be more round. But when you make it 50%, the square change to circle. Okay. The position of this one thing called property called position, learn in detail in the classes called absolute. The position should be absolute of this. And now in the CSS, one thing called, guys, keyframe. Keyframe. With this keyframe, I can make it working better. So first of all, we will make margin top 0% and margin left 0%. Okay. I will give some animation and I say animation. My animation name is move ball. Any name you can give. And for how much time it should complete? It should complete in 20 seconds. And I'll say it should go for infinite amount of time. Means keep on running, complete, then again start, complete and again start. That's what I want. Now here, what I'll do is I'll write @keyframes. Give them your animation name. I'll say move ball. The lot of things that you can do with CSS, a lot good to learn. It's very, very important. Means if you want to become web developer, you have to learn the CSS. You don't have any option. I'll say 0%. What the 0%? I'll explain you. At the 0%, I'll say margin top 0 pixel, or 0%, and margin left 0%. 0%. Now I'll say at 25%, margin top should become your 80, margin left become 20. At the 50%, your margin top again becomes 0, margin left become 40. At 75, the margin top become 80, this become 60. And at the 100%, margin top become again 0 and this to be 80%. Now see how it works. See guys, the ball start moving and it's coming back. Showing you see but the ball is moving, but we can do one thing. I have done top 0 to 80%. Let's not do 80%. Say 20%, because 80% is very high and it's a problem. So just refresh once. See guys. See, it works like this. This is called, guys, CSS transitions and the animations. The timing function, delay function, so how much time you have to put it, that matter here. Let's see, you say time duration is 4% and delay for 2%, means wait for 2 seconds and then for next 4 seconds do the structure. Or the timing function linear, means just go in a straight, so we give infinite, and the speed accuracy also you can calculate ease. So at here now when we say infinite, here actually you have ease in, means go with a better little slower one. So there are a lot of functions that you do. So if we say here transition curve, specifying the speed of the curve, faster, slower, more slower. So ease, linear, lease in, lease out, lease in out, step start, step end. So different value give that. And a hover, just now I showed hover to you, that when you bring the mouse over that, it scale. That's called hover. Hover means when you bring a mouse over something, that work. So the transitions make the element smoothly and gradually change on the state to other transition. And this one is the transition, guys. Scale, skew, rotate, and the metrics. If you see here, move, rotate, skew, scale, these are all the things that you can do with the transition. So transform means moving from one place to other place, and the transition means doing at same place. Like this transition property color, or an example, you say ease in, so just change the background color in 2 seconds, means after 2 seconds whatever the background color, just change to some other color. That also you can do. And just now we did the hands-on with every single thing that you have just seen. Perfect, guys. Thank you for joining. Till the time, thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Stay safe.